I don't like to waste food, so when my apples are getting soft, I turn them into some caramelized apple filling. So first I add a couple tablespoons of butter to my pot and just let that simmer and get a little golden. So this recipe is for a couple large apples or a few small apples, but you dice them up and then add a quarter cup of white sugar, a couple tablespoons of brown sugar, and a little sprinkle of salt. And we'll stir that all up with the apples, and then we'll add that to our sizzling butter. We're going to cook that about 5 minutes, and I stir it quite often. This is a great filling to use in your hand pies, tarts, turnovers, any pastry that doesn't require very long cooking in the oven. I add in half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a little shake of nutmeg, and 3 tablespoons of water. And I'm going to continue cooking that for about 4 more minutes until it's nice and caramelized. When it's all caramelized, then we can cool it and either store it in the fridge and use it in the next couple days, or throw it in the freezer once it's cool for up to 3 months. Making a crumble topping. So we have here a half a cup of oats, a quarter cup of flour. I used whole wheat. And we have a quarter cup of brown sugar, a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, and a dash of salt. And we'll just whisk that all together. And then we are going to add in 4 tablespoons of cold cubed butter and cut that in either with pastry cutter or a couple knives till we get a nice crumbly mixture. This crumble is great for on top of any of your fruit tarts, pies, making a fruit crumble or fruit crisp. So once we have a nice crumble mixture, it's ready to add to the top of our fruity dessert. Today I'm using my filling in some little tarts. So I'm just using this pre-made pie crust, and I'll roll that out. So it's nice and smooth. And then I am going to just cut some circles a little bit larger than my little pie tarts. Besides using cultivated boughten apples, we also have a lot of wild apple trees on our property that I've used the apples in cooking, like jams and jellies. I've also dehydrated them for making different crafts, like this primitive garland I made, which smells wonderful hanging in the kitchen. So once I had my tart shells all cut, then I just pressed them in my pans, making sure to have it into the very bottom. So I rolled up the excess dough around my circles I already cut to get as many as I could of the one pie shell. I did get 11 tarts from the one shell. Then I filled them with my apple pie filling. And this year, I should have done this before I put the filling in, but I just remembered that I wasn't putting a top crust. So I pressed the bottom crust with a fork around the edge just to keep it in place while it bakes. Lastly, for my tarts, I added this yummy crumble to the top. And then I baked them in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes until the filling was bubbly. Smells so good. I also like to press on the top of my tarts once they come out of the oven with a clean glass just to stick that crumble down into the caramel. So when you're eating them, it's not falling all over the place.
Very, very good.